Hey you guys, I'm working on a project for Jade's secret cigar box, and I've made these little flowers out of felt. So I'm going to show you how to do it. I wanted to use the 3D Sizzix die cut, but I don't have it and I haven't been able to find it anywhere, so I have another solution. So let's get started with this really quick. The first thing I want to share with you is, most of the time felt is in these really weird colors that no one ever wants to use. So I came up with another solution. This is just white standard craft felt that you get that's, like $4 for $1 or $5 for $1, depending on where you get it. Cheap. And take any of your kind of glimmering mists that's in your favorite color. I happen to be using some of my homemade, which is a peachy color. And I'm going to saturate that really well. Look at how well it picks up the color. Now, here's one thing you need to know, and that is that as this dries, it becomes a little bit lighter because the white parts still kind of show through. So you want to make sure that you use a color just a little bit darker than what you're looking for. And so I'm just using that to mop up on the other, and it doesn't go all the way through to the other side. So I'm just going to spritz it on the other side as well. Now I'm going to take my heat gun, and I am going to heat set this. However, please keep in mind that the heat tool will melt the fabric. So you want to do a continuous movement over the whole piece, and don't sit really close to it. You want to kind of be far away from it. And I'm going to set that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so my felt is all dry now, and because of the way I dried it, it is very stiff, which is what I wanted because the other one was very flimsy. And this will hold its shape a lot better. So I'm going to take this strip that I've cut out, and I'm going to fold it over into fourths, and then I'm going to cut it with my Tim Holtz Tattered Florals. I'm going to cut the medium size out. Now, I've already cut those out. Now I have 4 cuts, and I also cut out one of the large ones in the green, one of the large flowers. So on the large flower, I'm going to cut off this piece and keep it. This is going to be the leaf for my flower. Then on these 4, I'm going to cut down to the center on one, cut one leaf off on another one, then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to cut it in a spiral. And I'm going to take this one and I'm going to cut it in a spiral. But on this spiral, I'm going to completely cut the circle out so that this is what I have. Now, I'm going to take my hot glue gun, and for this cut, I am going to apply glue along this edge. Just at the bottom, and maybe my glue gun will decide it wants to work. I think it's cut itself off. Now I'm going to take my tweezers and I'm going to grab it from the top, and I am going to tightly roll that spiral around. Staying really tight. I really want this really tight. And I'm going to keep adding glue to the base of that where I cut the circle part out. And again, just continue to roll it around. You want to be really neat with your hot glue, because if it sticks to this felt, the felt will melt if you hit it with the heat tool. So you really want to make sure that you keep the glue really neat. so you don't have little glue spider webs. Just keep rolling it around. Okay, so now you've got this little piece of a bud. Don't undo your tweezers yet, and I love these tweezers, guys. These are the Cutter Bee tweezers. Mine have seen better days, but I love them because when you let go, they still hold on. Okay, then you're going to take this one, and this time you're going to add glue up to the side right here on this petal, and then you're also going to add it around the center again, just like you did before, around the base. And whenever I line this up this time, I'm going to start where that last spiral ended. I'm going to start there. And you can leave a little bit of a gap if you need to. Kind of look at the way that the flower's coming together and line it up so that you continue offsetting the petals as they go around. Add a little more glue. Keeping this really neat and tight, because I think the tighter that this bud part is, the better it is. Now this time I'm going to apply glue right here to the center piece, because that's now going to come up and close off my bud. Now if you wanted to be done with this at this point, you could, because you know, that would be a cute little rosebud right there. How cute would that be with this great big one, you know, to give some variant sizes. I like the cleanliness of this, but I don't like how this is, so unless you're going to cover it up, I'm going to come back and just to eliminate some of the bulk in here between my flower, I'm just going to kind of trim some of this little piece off so that it's a little narrower. I'm loving how that is looking. Look at how clean that is. Now I'm going to very carefully pull my tweezers out. So there's my little bud. And again, you could be finished at this point, but we're going to keep going because I want to show you how to keep going. Then you're going to take this flower that you cut the full petal out of and only apply glue to this edge. And then you're going to pull it over and glue it down. Now you're not going to overlap the petals completely, just a little bit, because you don't want it to be too bulky. You know, if you had two of these, the felt is a lot thicker than your normal flower and it would get way too bulky. Then I'm going to apply glue to the base of my bud, just to the base. And I am going to slip it down inside of here. But I'm going to make sure that I'm offsetting the petal a little bit so that I don't end up with a big gap. See? Now I'm going to come up and pull these petals back just a little bit, add a little glue to the rim of the bud, and then pull those up so that basically I'm shaping the flower and putting the buds where I want. I mean, putting the petals where I want them. And if you want to, you know, like, just pull them up and shape them down. And again, right here, and see how I'm just kind of squishing them in, filling in the spots. Now this time when I put these together, I'm going to take this one and I'll apply a little bit of glue right here, overlap it just a little bit, not a lot. Now see how these petals are sticking up tall, but this one right here has a big gap. Where I overlapped these petals, that's where I'm going to put that so that the gap gets filled in. So this time I'm going to come back and I'm going to put just a dab of glue right here. And I'm going to put that, oh, that was hot. I'm going to put that petal right there. So see how it kind of fills in, but it might need to come over just a hair so that it's offset on the other side. And then again, I'm going to pull those petals back, apply glue right here, and pull those in. Do it all the way around so that you're making your petal the size that you want it. And there's our little rose. Now we could continue going just like you do with the Tim Holtz Tattered Floral die. And if you notice that you really need to add a little more something, like right in here, it just kind of looks a little naked. Remember those little pieces that we cut off? You can always come back and add those. But if you add them, I would add them to the insides, not to the outside. But you could go back around and add them. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take and add a little bit of glue here to the back. Just right there. And I'm going to take this leaf that we cut out earlier. And I'm going to place that down right there on top of that leaf, and now I have the perfect little rose. It's the perfect color because I dyed it the color that I wanted it, and all you have to do is just keep fidgeting with it until you get the right shape. But I love how that tattered rose came together to make this little felt flower. Isn't it gorgeous? Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and please leave me comments. Thanks.